For Black women, a slow and restful life hasn't always been ours to claim. Our bodies carry generations of labor, resilience, and strength. We've been taught to push through, to carry everything on our backs, even when our bodies are asking us to slow down. Our cycles can feel like yet another battle in a world that already demands so much from us. But our bodies hold wisdom. Our womb is a portal to a reality beyond survival mode, a way to break free from the systems that have taught and forced us to neglect ourselves. I invite you to step into this new reality, one where we honor our softness, we listen to our bodies, and we reclaim rest as our birthright. Raise your hand if you started your period and was handed pads and tampons and sent off into a world that treats your period as an inconvenience. We're told you bleed once a month, now you can get pregnant, and that's it. But here's the thing, that's not it. Our cycles hold so much more than that, and each phase has its own kind of magic. Existing in a society that does not honor our menstrual cycle, it's no wonder that so many of us don't know our wombs or how to listen to them. They ignore the fact that our wombs operate outside of patriarchal boundaries, because when we do live in alignment with our cycles, we reclaim so much: our health, our individuality, our power. So today we're reclaiming our wombs together by exploring the luteal phase, which is your inner fall. This is a time for grounding, for introspection, and preparing for renewal. This is actually the longest phase of your cycle, and during this time your uterine lining is thickening to potentially support new life. But if pregnancy doesn't occur, then your body prepares for menstruation, and your hormones, especially progesterone, begin to drop, and the signals to your body to prepare to release what's no longer needed, and that's the blood that flows during our moon. Like autumn, the luteal phase invites us to really harvest lessons and reflect and prepare for our renewal. It could be a mindset or a habit or even physical clutter. It's really a moment for us to pause and take a look at our inner and outer worlds. I will say that the luteal phase often has a negative connotation to it, and this is because the hormonal shifts commonly bring fatigue and heightened sensitivity. But if we shift our perspective, we can actually see that this is not a weakness at all. It's your body saying, slow your roll, turn inward, and listen to what you need. As Black women, honoring this phase is especially important because we're often carrying the weight of the world while navigating silent stressors and exhaustion. And this constant state of survival often takes a toll on our cycles, leading to PMS symptoms or painful, unregulated periods. And here's the thing, none of that is normal. PMS symptoms are not normal. They're just a sign that our bodies need something. And when we listen, bye-bye PMS. Imagine this phase as your wise great-grandmother calling you to rest your head on her lap. It's a safe space where you don't have to keep surviving. You can stop running and you can settle in and rest here. This video is a glimpse into how you can honor the wise luteal phase by leading with daily intention. Mornings in the luteal phase call for gentle waking. I like to take my time opening the curtains and letting sunlight gradually pour into my home. I'll often open the door to welcome the fresh air, and it feels like an invitation for clarity and calm to just flow in, setting the tone for a soft, unhurried start. I always hydrate before consuming anything else, and I like to add a sprinkle of Celtic salt to my water to bring back the lost minerals. It feels so replenishing, like my body's first thank you of the day. In this phase of your cycle, your body is craving grounding nutrients, so think healthy fats, magnesium, iron, and fiber to really balance your hormones, calm your nervous system, and prepare your body for menstruation. Fruits and seeds like chia are my go-tos when I want something that feels healing and light. So this morning I'm making a chia seed pudding. Chia seeds are super mighty and full of omega-3s that help with hormonal balance and fiber. Constipation is super common during this phase, so your body will appreciate the supportive nudge. I like to add bananas and dates for vitamin B6, which is a little mood and energy boost, and cacao nibs for magnesium and easing tension in the body. Remember that food is medicine for your body and your soul, so the choices that you make will definitely shape how you feel throughout the day. Starting your morning with a nourishing meal during this phase feels like wrapping your womb in a warm, loving hug. Once my morning rituals are complete, I turn my attention to how I show up for the day's work. This is where I used to feel the most frustrated because my energy isn't as high, my patience can feel thin, and I just feel like I don't have it in me whatsoever. It really feels like my body is saying, hey boo, can we clear the slate? I'm pooping out here. So we have to be very intentional with our energy. It's really not the time for big, bold moves or starting something new. Instead, try focusing on tying up loose ends, reviewing your projects, or completing tasks that just need closure. Most importantly, give yourself grace. If I'm feeling irritable or less focused, I like to remind myself that this isn't me failing, it's just my body doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And if I stop fighting it, I actually end up feeling more productive, even if my to-do list isn't as long. Rest does not mean that you're lazy or unproductive. I think the sooner that we understand our bodies are not vehicles for productivity and labor, the more we can live in alignment with ourselves. So if you are in this phase of your cycle and you're feeling like you're just not getting enough done, I want you to gently remind yourself that this phase is all about working with your body's rhythms, not against them. Just honor the slowness and trust that rest is a part of your process. As I prepare for my period, I like to take care of light chores like doing laundry or tidying up so that when my bleed does begin, I can fully hibernate in a clear space. It feels so much better to begin your period after releasing all of the clutter and creating a clean, open environment. It mirrors the spiritual and mental cleansing that occurs during this phase. It's a quiet ritual of letting go to make room for the renewal. For lunch, I'm having leftovers from last night's dinner because there's something so comforting about opening the fridge and being greeted by a meal that's already prepared, especially during the luteal phase when conserving energy feels vital. Today's plate consists of these little ground turkey meatballs I marinated in an herby sauce and crispy rosemary tomatoes with a balsamic tomato, onion, and dill salad. It's simple but full of flavors that feel earthy and comforting. Let me tell you, syncing different forms of exercise with the phases of your cycle will absolutely change your life. And you can take it from me because I used to be a gym rat. I'd be in the gym every single day, despite where I was in my cycle and completely ignoring my body's signals. And I felt all of that. I would wonder why I had these like chronic issues I was dealing with. And if you've ever noticed how when you're in your luteal phase or your menstrual phase, weights feel 10 times heavier than they typically do, you are not imagining that. It's your body telling you that it's craving a different form of movement, and you should definitely listen to that. Now that I'm honoring my cyclical nature, I feel so much lighter. My PMS symptoms have drastically reduced, my body feels less stressed, and even my skin has stopped breaking out like it used to. The key here is to really tune in, and this takes time and intention, but your body will tell you what it needs. I like to transition to light strength training during the first half of my luteal phase, and then as soon as I start to feel that signature luteal phase fatigue, that's my cue. This is when I really step away from the gym and instead I shift to bodyweight exercises like yoga or Pilates. It feels much better to move at home where I feel cozy. These forms of movement still detoxify and strengthen my body, but in a gentler way that doesn't spike my cortisol, which is something we really want to avoid during this phase. The inner critic tends to get a bit rowdy during the luteal phase, and I'll catch myself in the mirror thinking that my face looks completely different than it did the week before, and I think it's the wildest thing. But I've noticed the more love and care that I pour into myself, the quieter and kinder that inner critic becomes. Self-care during this phase is my favorite way to honor my cycle and a lovely way to store seeds of love and care that will carry you into your period. The luteal phase teaches us that it's okay to tend to our own garden and to hold ourselves with the same love and reverence we so often give to others. This is your time to reconnect with you. I love to light a candle, do some warm oil massages, and dry brushing. These rituals stimulate lymphatic drainage, reducing fluid retention, and releasing any stagnation as my body prepares to let go of what it doesn't need. I've also started practicing speaking kindly to myself as my body shifts and cycles. To witness the magic of the womb in action is quite humbling and beautiful. Reframing these changes as something sacred transforms my perspective from judgment to gratitude. This is also a great time for boundary setting, saying no to plans that don't feel aligned, or no to overextending yourself. This could mean canceling social outings, setting aside time to meditate, or simply carving out a quiet evening for solitude. For dinner, my partner is making a butternut squash soup, which I'm obsessed with. It's perfect for fall, and it feels like everything my body could possibly need in this phase. Butternut squash is rich in vitamin A, which is going to support hormonal balance, and is also rich in fiber. And then adding a bit of healthy fats like coconut cream are a perfect addition for stabilizing your hormones. The luteal phase always reminds me of the importance of leaning into your support system. As your body begins to slow, it's okay to let someone step in and nurture you. It's important to communicate with your lover or those who witness your cycle what you're experiencing so that they can show up for you in the ways you may need. I think that the luteal phase holds a message about community. It helps us remember that we need our village. We deserve to be taken care of, to have a shoulder to rest on, and to receive nourishment in all its forms. One herb I always turn to in preparation for my bleed is mugwort, also known as the wise old woman, a woman's weed, or dream weaver. She is a womb's companion with a special connection to our cycles. She balances hormones, restores menstrual rhythm, and eases bloating. Communing with mugwort during the luteal phase feels like crossing a bridge to ancestral wisdom within our wombs and arriving to sit in the presence of an elder who knows exactly what you need. Emotionally, the luteal phase can feel raw and vulnerable, but within that vulnerability is an invitation to clarity. I find myself seeing all the things that I've been ignoring or avoiding, and acknowledging them feels like clearing space inside of me and bringing it all to the surface. Journaling really helps me process these feelings, but it also allows me to simultaneously pour love into myself. I find that this phase often requires more tenderness and intentional words of encouragement. Writing down affirmations or loving reflections to revisit later feels like planting seeds of self-love that will carry me into the ebb and flow of my cycle. Living by our cycles is such a radical act. It's saying no to societal conditioning and yes to our inner knowing. It's a choice to listen to your body, to honor its rhythms, and to rest. Not because you earned it, because your body is asking you to. We aren't meant to carry the entire world on our shoulders, and choosing yourself won't always be easy. There will always be people to care for, tasks to complete, and mountains to climb, but none of it can happen if you aren't tending to yourself first. So as you move through this phase, I want you to go play this song, draw yourself a bath, and wrap yourself in the coziest blanket and just let the world spin without you for a little while. It's time for you to ask for love from yourself, to hold yourself with the same care you so freely give to others. I see you, I honor you, I love you, and I'm wishing you a deeply nourishing luteal phase. Until next time, bye!